Na Batman! Hey boys and girls, welcome to another super exciting, outrageous toy review. Today, we're taking a look at the Batmobile with Batman and Robin fully posable action figures from the Batman Classic TV series. Our friends at Funko sent this over so we could take a look at it.
Holy Toledo, Batman! Quiet, old chum, and let's get on with this review.
Who doesn't love the Adam West Batmobile? It's one of the coolest pop culture cars ever made. From the bat symbol hubcaps, to the turbine, to the red bat phone. This Batmobile's got all the details you were looking for. The Batmobile's made out of hard, shiny plastic and features rigid construction. Great for collectors or kids to play with. The Batmobile's about 11 inches long, 5 inches wide, and about 4 inches at its tallest. Funko did a great job with the cockpit, including those bubble-domed windshields, the bat phone, lots of cool little levers and things inside. The fire extinguisher's even there. And that classic steering wheel. And on top of this great recreation of the Batmobile, you get 2 action figures of Batman and Robin. There is a nice size difference between the two characters, with Robin being smaller and more slender. Both figures feature accurate costumes based on the show, but lack the actor likeness we've seen in some other Batman 66 toy lines. Here's Batman with the blue and black cowl on. You can see some little detail lines on the eyebrows and the nose, just like on the show. He's got the very tiny bat symbol there. And he's got his utility belt with the large pouches. He's got his trunks and his boots down here at the bottom. You'll notice his gloves do have the little spikes on them. And then, of course, he's got his blue cape, complete with scallops. So these action figures by Funko feature ball-jointed heads, ball-jointed shoulders, hinges at the elbow, hips, like a classic Kenner Star Wars action figure, and knee joints. So these guys are kind of a cool hybrid between the vintage Star Wars figures and the vintage G.I. Joes. Not quite as articulated as a G.I. Joe, but way more articulated than a classic Star Wars figure. I really like this. It's a neat direction that Funko's going now that they're not doing the reaction line. Their action figures have evolved. Batman's cape is made out of a rubbery plastic. This allows it to flex and tuck underneath of him to seat him in the Batmobile. It's not a perfect solution. It does kind of lift him up a little bit in the seat, but it works pretty well. Here at SEO Toy Review, we're big fans of clothy capes, but this one's not so clothy. But at least it is flexible. Here we have Robin, the boy wonder. He's got his mask on, his red tunic with the green sleeves. He's got his little gloves, his shorts, his little pixie boots, and his yellow cape, which again is the flexible yellow plastic. It did some nice detailing with his hair. I'm not super wild about his face. There's nothing really wrong with it, but I don't know. I just the Batman figure, the face just looks a little bit better than this one. He's got some pretty good paint, other than down here at the very bottom of his shirt. You can see the little button things kind of get off sync at the bottom there. Other than that, it's the only paint flub I've seen on either figure or the Batmobile itself. So all around, a pretty nice set. This Robin figure does feature the same articulation as Batman, with those ball-jointed shoulders, hinged elbows, hinged hips, hinged knees, and the ball-jointed head. Although his head is not as articulated, doesn't have as great of a range of motion, is what I mean to say, as the Batman figure. So there you can see Batman in the Batmobile. His cape does keep him from sitting back all the way. It kind of pushes him forward a little bit. And sometimes it wants to bulge up a little bit, but it looks pretty decent. It's not too distracting when he's in there. And if you kind of play with it, sometimes you can position it even a little bit better. But it does want to stick out to one side or the other a lot of times. Robin's a little easier to put in because you don't have the steering wheel to contend with. But you can see his cape also kind of pops him up away from the seat a little bit as well. Once again, special thanks to the people at Funko for sending this over so we could take a look at it. Make sure to like, subscribe, and check out our other videos. We'll miss you, old chum.